Hey everybody, Dr. Ben Atkins here, and welcome to a very special presentation. We're going to be talking about something very cool today. We call these things new client seduction pages. And you can read the headline on the screen. I don't have to read it for you, but this is all about these very special web pages that we build, and we built these things a while back. We tested them, we dialed them in, and we built them for a very specific purpose. And this doesn't say this on the slide, but I want to tell you this. The very specific purpose that we built these pages was so that we didn't have to do the hard, like terrible, awkward prospecting that everybody thinks that they have to do when they get into selling anything, when they get into agency work, when they get into all this stuff. The idea behind this is I wanted a more efficient way to prospect for clients. I wanted prospects to come to me. And so we had to devise a system, and it took us a while. There was a lot of trial and error, but over the years, we built these things called new client seduction pages. And after a lot of testing and a lot of proving that they do what they're supposed to do for us, we're ready to show our insider crew today. So please keep in mind, if you were here today and you were watching this right now, you got an email, most likely, you may have got a text, but you got something from us because you're on a list of people that we consider to be part of our inner core. So thanks for being here. If for some reason you're here and you weren't personally invited by us, it means a good friend that is part of our inner sanctum invited you. So thanks for being here. Now, before I get into this today, I want to bring on my business partner, my good buddy, the other person, the more handsome face on the screen right now, Mr. Zach Anderson. Zach, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. You know, it's nice weather out here, so got that going for us, and still have a little bit of summer left.
I love it. I love it. We got a big one today. Are you excited?
I am excited. I enjoy this particular one. This is going to be a fantastic one.
This is one that we've been excited about for months now, just because when we finally got to bring this to you guys, this was going to be something that would change a lot of people's lives in terms of how they run their business. And so if you take what you're going to learn today and you actually do something with this, I predict good things. Now, before we start today, I want to do something kind of fun today. If you see this green star, it means that the slide is super important. Okay, so we're gonna try this out right now, and I want you to do something for me, and I want you to type important in the chat, just the word important. Do that. Go ahead and type the word important in the chat. So just get that in, just kind of get in the habit. If you want to copy and paste the word important so that you've got it for later, because I know how some of y'all do. I get it. Go ahead and get that in there so that you've got it ready to go. Now, what we're going to do today is we are going to have several parts of this presentation that are extremely, extremely important. Okay, now I'm going to mark those slides with a green star. Not that everything doesn't stack and that it's not important in this, but there's a couple slides that really stick out. If you are the first person to type important when you see a green star on a slide, you are going to be eligible to win a little prize from Zach and I. It's just a nice little way for us to give back to you guys and make the whole process of learning a lot more fun. I sat in a classroom for years, guys, and learning sometimes was not fun. I don't want this to feel like a classroom. I want this to feel like something that's fun when you pick up something that is going to help you with your business. So not only can you pick up something that's going to make you a whole lot of money in your business, we're going to do some prizes today too. So if all that sounds good, we're going to dive in. We're going to get started. Zach's going to chime in here and there as we go through this, but he's going to make me talk the majority of this as we get into this. So let's dive in. Let's get started. Now, before we go into this, I do have a question for you, and I want to know, who here hates prospecting? Just be honest with me. Listen, we're all in the same boat. Nobody here is going to tell on you. Nobody is going to make you feel bad about this. Let's be perfectly honest with each other. If you're not real big on prospecting, meaning you tend to lean more towards the technology side, you tend to lean towards the marketing side, like you like that. But the prospecting, and what I mean by prospecting is this: reaching out to people and asking them to do business with you cold. That's what I'm actually saying. Like when I say prospecting, that's what I mean. Like some of us have different definitions of prospecting. What I'm talking about is reaching out cold and asking people to do business with you. Here's the thing. Those of you that hate it, cool. I get that. I understand. Those of you that don't hate it, here's what I bet you do not like: the amount of time it takes. Give me a yes in the box if it's not even that you hate the prospecting side. It's just the time that it takes to do it is overwhelming, and it seems like you could be doing more important things or better things or things that were more fun in your business, right? It's just the timing thing for a lot of us. A lot of us, we feel like this is something that is so time consuming, and that's why it sort of weighs on us. So here's the thing. If you'd like a better way to get clients, and you'd like a way that doesn't suck so much time out of your week, so much time out of your month, this is what today is all about. Today is going to be a very, very big deal because we're going to talk about a different way. We're going to talk about a way that you can get some things out there that are going to do the bulk of the prospecting work for you so that people come to you. And can I say this? Today's a big deal specifically because of this. Because the people that are going to come to you are actually going to be the right people. Now, let me say this before I get into this. I want you to understand, when I say the right people, I'm not talking about a niche of people. I'm talking about a group of people that have something that's unique about them that is very much in line with who we are here. And when you understand what I'm going to teach you today, it will change your perspective forever. And if you take what I'm going to show you today with these pages, you guys, it's going to put you in a spot where it's going to change the way that you prospect forever, because you're no longer going to spend any of your week prospecting. You're going to have something doing the prospecting for you. If you join this call today feeling frustrated with your digital agency and the rate at which it's growing, this call is going to be a breath of fresh air. Now, the reason behind this is because we're going to be talking about something that really makes your agency just more fun overall. Here it is. I'm going to give you full permission today, not that you need my permission, but I'm going to give you full permission today to stop prospecting the way that you've been doing it. Today, I'm going to show you why you hate prospecting and why it's been so hard for some of you to be getting consistent clients for your agency. And I want you to pay attention to this next slide. A lot of you are doing this and you don't even realize that you're doing it. A lot of you are consistently going after haters, and it's time you stopped because it's killing your self-esteem and it's killing your bank account. I'll explain more in just a second, but if you're feeling this already and you kind of think you know where I'm going with this, give me a number 1 in the box. A lot of you are spending your time going after haters. You may have not thought about this before. I'll get a little more in depth in a minute as to what I mean by this, but I need you guys to really lock in with, we're going to stop going after haters. Okay, so here's the deal. Today we are going to talk about a change to your approach that's actually going to deliver results fast, because we're going to stop going after this hater audience. The next 43 minutes of your life are going to be big. This is going to be something that's momentous if you really pay attention. So please give me your full attention the next 43 minutes or so. And I've actually timed myself on this, so I didn't just make that number up. I like being respectful of your time, so I take care to know how much time we're putting into this. Okay, so what are we doing in the next 43 minutes? Here's what we're doing. We got 4 parts to this, okay? These parts are going to build on top of each other, so each one is important. Part 1, the misunderstood reason why brick and mortar business owners don't want to talk to you right away, even though they know you can help them with their online marketing, and why they prefer to come to you instead, okay, rather than you come to them. Part 2, the reason why sales pages don't make sales for agency owners. Listen, I have so many people asking me at our support desk all the time, by email, by Facebook, all those things. They're like, Atkins, can you show me a sales page that's doing the bulk of the work for your agency? And if you're thinking traditional sales pages, you're out of luck, because with what we do with brick and mortar businesses, that's not the way to go. I'm going to show you why in part 2. Part 3, I'm going to show you what to do instead. Instead of sales pages, what can you do that's out there? And it's something we call a new customer seduction page. And it's about a story. It's about a story. And it's the key to why these pages work so well to bring new customers into our agency. And finally, part 4, how you can close 10K plus per month in the next 60 to 90 days using this new customer seduction page, but then how you can scale way past that, and why running an agency is about to get fun again, because you're going to take a piece of it out that's not fun. If you're ready to dig in, do me a favor, jump in the box, type a number 1 in there right now, and let me know that you're ready to go. Let me know that you're ready to dive in and that you are fired up to get started and get going. By the way, if you're somebody that just keeps randomly typing in the word important, thinking you're going to catch a slide, you are disqualified if I catch you doing that. I'm just messing with you, but seriously, just make sure you're paying attention to the content, because that's the big win today. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Part one, the misunderstood reason why brick and mortar business owners don't want to talk to you right away, even though they know they need you, and why they prefer to come to you rather than you come to them. Okay, so here's something I need you to do. I need you to promise me something. I need you to promise me something. Before we get into this, I need you to make me a promise. You need to promise me that you're going to stop trying to sell your services to people that have no interest in marketing. How many of you have done this? I've got my hand way up in the air. I've done this so much in the past that I've got 2 hands up in the air right now, you guys. How many of you have tried to sell your services to people that really have no interest in marketing at all? We don't think about this a lot. We think entrepreneurs, we think business owners, they must be into marketing. Well, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. And I think a lot of you here are thinking about right now a time when you ran into somebody that was a person that was like a hater on marketing. They weren't into it. I'm going to say something to you that will change your life today. And I know that's a big statement, but it's important. If you are as into this as I am, it actually will change your life. If you listen to me and you take this to heart, it's going to be something that changes everything for you forever. Okay? Here's the deal. The business owners that don't want to talk to you are usually the ones that don't have any interest in marketing in general. I'm not talking about digital marketing. I'm not talking about digital marketing. I'm not talking about, radio advertising and marketing. I'm talking about marketing in general. The business owners that don't want to talk to you are usually the ones that don't have any interest in marketing in general. Do you agree with that? Give me a yes if you agree with that. Give me a yes if you agree with that. Okay. So here's, very good. Look at you guys go. You saw the star. So we've got 2 people that we're going to send a nice little $20 Amazon gift card to. That's Susan Martin and Roger Weaver. You guys stay tuned. There's going to be more stars. If you missed it this time, we'll do that. So Susan Martin, make sure we got your email addresses in the box so that we can get you a prize for that. We'll make sure we get it to you. So here's what I want to explain to you about this. If you're going after these marketing haters, hey Jerry, is it? If you're going after these marketing haters, then I want you guys to understand something. And this sentence at the bottom of the page will change your life forever if you really understand this sentence. Here's why marketing haters are bad for us. Because a solution seems expensive until you've fully examined the problem. How many of you can agree with that statement? Think about that. A solution, any solution, even if it's the solution to all the problems that you've been after, any solution out there will seem expensive if you've not fully examined the problem you're facing. That is a life-changing sentence. It changed my life when I really understood that. Give me a number 1 if you really feel like you can internalize that and you get it. What I mean by that is this. You guys. Until we fully understand a problem or we start to understand a problem, everything that's out there that's supposed to fix it can seem expensive or too far-fetched. It can be something that's a problem. And here's the deal. When I say marketing haters, I'm talking about people that have not done any sort of self-work on learning how to market their business. They have no idea what the problems that they're facing actually are. Do you all understand that none of us are good enough salespeople to sell people that aren't interested in helping themselves? Give me a yes if you get this. Give me a yes if this lights a light bulb up in your head. None of us are good enough salespeople to sell something to somebody that doesn't even have an interest in helping themselves. So listen, if you're in business right now, and you don't take an interest in marketing, we got a problem. We got a real problem. And I need you to take this to heart. You personally sitting there right now listening to me, you're not going to build a successful agency if you keep going after people that aren't already interested in what you're doing with your life, which is marketing. We're marketing people, you guys. We're entrepreneurs, but we're marketing people. And listen, if the people that you're going after aren't interested in marketing too, because they're business owners, you're screwed. You have to stop going after them. Personally, you guys, I have zero interest in spending my day trying to convince people over the phone that they need digital marketing. I have zero time in my day to try to talk to people that own a business and are supposedly trying to grow, and they're not interested in marketing. Does this make sense? Give me a big number one in the box if this makes sense so far. Big number one. I cannot tell you how much time I wasted in my life trying to convince people that marketing was magic. What I'd rather do, and what I eventually discovered on my journey, was this. I just want to sell to folks that already know they need marketing, and they like this internet thing as a medium to do it. They're already there. They're already looking for the solutions themselves. They are hungry. They are curious. Would you guys like to know my big secret as to why my agency started popping off and growing really, really fast in comparison to what I did the first 2 or 3 years of my agency? Anybody want to know my big secret? I'll tell it to you right now, but I want to see yeses in the box if you want to know my big secret. This is going to seem like the stupidest thing in the world, but if you're like me, it's going to turn a light bulb on your head when you realize what I'm about to tell you. The big secret in my agency, and the thing that completely turned it around from just being something that I was kind of doing that wasn't going real well to something that was going really, 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 really well and continued to scale, this is the big secret. The people that are my best agency customers, my biggest customers, my best agency customers, the ones that have been with me a while, the new ones that stay with me forever, it's this. My best agency customers are the ones that already knew they needed me and they needed the service before I eventually sold them to them. Can I get specific here real quick? The folks that I have sold social media to, and it's been the easiest to sell them social media marketing, they were already looking for somebody to do social media for them. They were already doing social media for themselves. Give me a big number one if this makes sense to you. I'm going to name some more things, but like the easiest sales that I ever made on social media marketing are people that were already trying to do it themselves. So they were already hiring people. They'd already hired 3 people before me. They knew they needed it. Reviews, review marketing. The people that like have me do their review marketing, you guys, they're people that already were doing it themselves, or they had tried to find somebody to do it for them. They needed more reviews. They needed people to help them with negative reviews. They knew this. The people that I sell websites to typically already know that they need a website, and they're actively looking for somebody because they know that they need to improve that. Does everybody understand? It's not about just getting your solution in front of everybody. It's about finding the people that already know they need something and just being there. Give me a number one if this is setting in. I know this may not sound like a big secret, but to me it was a big secret. It was something that I was completely screwing up. It was right next to me the whole time, but I was missing it. The big secret to growing a fun agency, you guys, one that you actually enjoy, one that you like, enjoy getting up in the morning and doing this stuff, is just having a way to get in front of more business and marketing nerds and a way to filter out the marketing haters. How many of you want to do business with business and marketing nerds, and you want to get yourself away from the marketing haters? Give me a yes, a me, or a number one in the box right now. I have zero interest in hanging out, taking money, working with, working for, whatever you want to call it, people that do not respect the art and the craft and the science of what I do. Meaning, I want to work with people that are just as nerdy about marketing as I am, because they're fun. How many of you, and even if you've answered nothing this call, jump in and answer this one. How many of you are ready to start having fun and enjoying the people that you want to work with? Enjoying the people that you want to work with. And you guys, that's the secret. That's the big secret. Start putting yourself in front of people that are just as nerdy about this stuff as you. Now, some of us maybe think, well, I'm intimidated if they're that nerdy about it. No. I want to have clients that love asking me questions about marketing, that love talking to me about marketing. That's what I'm after. Would you like to see the most effective way that we filter out those haters? And get the marketing nerd business owners to seek us out. Okay, it's one thing to say, yeah, cool, we want to find those people, that's great, but how do we find them? How do we filter out the wrong people? How do we get to the others? Okay, so I got a lot of people saying, yes, I want to know how we filter those out. That's awesome, but first I want to show you guys something that's important. I want you to really see the mistake that I see a lot of agency owners make when they first discover this and they first try to start filtering out. A lot of people out there have figured out that sales pages are the way that online marketers filter out the bad prospects and bring in the good ones. Give me a yes if you know, if you figured that out. Meaning I don't have to call up every one of my customers that buys from a sales page. The sales page does the filtering for me, right? So it would stand to reason that a lot of people here that buy from sales pages, that buy from webinars, think, well, I just need that to put in front of my brick and mortar prospects. The problem is, you guys, is we're talking about a completely different kind of audience. So I want to talk to you, before I show you the way that we filter out the right way, I want to show you something I think it's important to realize first about sales pages. Part two, the reason why sales pages don't make sales for agency owners overall, and what you should be sending them instead that actually works. Okay, can you guys see the sales page on your screen, or the top of the sales page on your screen right now? This is the sales page that I have like running live like now. Can you guys see this? This is for a podcast product. This is for a podcasting product. Can everybody see this? Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. I want you to answer honestly. Do you think that this works really, really well to sell a digital product to people that are digital marketers that want to work from home, they want a podcast? Do you think that this works pretty well to filter out those folks, the wrong folks, bring the right ones in, and then I make good money off this? The answer is absolutely yes. The answer is absolutely yes. But it works on that audience because of some very specific things about that audience. This does not work on the wrong audience. Now, can anybody tell me in what setting a page like this actually works? I hinted at it, but what setting does this actually work? Anybody know? Anybody got any guesses as to who this kind of sales page, this long form kind of sales page works in front of? What do you think? Anybody know? Let me explain. Sales pages, yes, you got to have the right niche, but sales pages work incredibly well when the following is present. Sales pages like what I just showed you work great when you already have a list of interested and educated people that you can send the page to. Meaning you already have some sort of authority. You already have a group of people that are pre-educated. You already have a passionate audience that's into something, and you have a list of them and you can put it in front of them. Maybe you're running ads, that's not going to work as well, but if you have a list of people that already trust you on a topic, these sales pages work pretty well. Would you agree with that? Give me a yes if you have bought from a sales page like that because you were in that nerd audience, you were into that niche. Yes. So I want you guys to understand, if you have a list that you can send that to and you know they're interested in the topic, it's going to work well. Let me ask you a question. How many of you think the vast majority of people that are getting started or are trying to scale up an agency have a list of small business owners in their niche? A few do. A few do. But I'm going to tell you something that I have figured out by talking to an incredibly large amount of people that are into this or trying to get into doing an agency. The vast majority of them do not have a list of interested prospects in their niche. Give me a yes if you agree with that. So the reason that this page does not work real well, if you're just putting it in front of, you're sending ads, you're putting it in front of people that have brick and mortar business, is because you have no targeting. You have no people that trust you. You're putting this out in front of people and you're crossing your fingers and praying. And here's the thing. Here's what happens. Here's what happens. All right, very, very good. Very, very good. This one's important. Kip and Jade. Kip Anson and Jade Meyerhofer. Make sure you send me your address, your email address, so that we can send you an Amazon gift card. If you missed out, don't worry. I think we got at least one more in here. So here's the problem with the page like this. The problem with the page like this is this. The instant you see a page like this, you're aware that you're being sold to. Give me a yes if you agree with that statement. If you see a page like this, you are in a mindset that you know you're being sold something. Now let me ask you a question. Is that okay? Is it okay that this page immediately tips its hand that it's selling you something? Yes, because if you already know you're interested in the product and you really, really want it already, and you've done probably hours of research already on it, you guys, that's okay. Here's the hard truth to face. This page is a turnoff to people who don't deal with these kind of pages often, and they don't really know what they need. It says, I'm here to sell you something, and my need to do that is more important than your need to solve a problem. How many of you think sometimes sales pages, when they're not targeted, come off that way? I'm here to sell you something, and my need to do that is far more important than your need to solve the problem. This is why we start making fun of gurus. This is why we start making fun of people, because we start to get the impression that it's not about us, it's about them. And that's drives us crazy. And listen, if you're putting a sales page or a traditional sales page for one of your services in front of a small business, you are immediately sowing bad vibes with them. Give me a yes, because here's what a small business owner is going to think when you put a sales page in front of them the majority of the time. They don't even care enough to talk to me. Even though they wouldn't have talked to you in the first place, they don't even care to talk to me. We can do better. We can do better than a page like that. Let me show you what does connect and work with brick and mortar business owners. Give me a big number 3 in the box if you're excited to see something that's a cousin of a sales page. It's definitely related, but it's not the same thing by any stretch of the imagination. Not from the results that we've been getting anyway. Okay, so let's get into it. First things first, before I show you this, what I'm about to show you takes a few hours to set up the first time you do it, but once you get it working, it forever changes the way you explain what you do as an agency owner and how you get new clients. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have trouble consistently explaining what you do for a living? Be honest, I won't say your name out loud. Be honest, this is just a blind, nobody else hears this, but Atkins gets to see it, and I appreciate that. Now, I'll let you know. I will let you know without saying any names that we have a chat full. We have a chat full of people right now that are admitting they have a tough time explaining sometimes. They have a tough time explaining sometimes what they do in an agency, or they have a tough time explaining a particular service that they offer. Okay? So if you said yes, or you were thinking yes, but too scared to type it in, you're not alone. There was a lot of people that jumped in the chat just now and answered that question and said, yes, I have a tough time consistently explaining what I do or what a service is. And sometimes that doesn't go so well. So I want you guys to understand the thing that we use is a little different. The thing that we use is a little different. It's something that we call a new client seduction page. And while it is related to a sales page, because the whole idea is to sell something, obviously, it doesn't feel like a sales page at all. Now I'm going to show you a blurred out version. There's some things that I had to blur out on this, and forgive me. It's very close. It's related to the page that we were looking at, the sales page before, but it's different. And I want you guys to look at this. Yes, very, very good. So the folks that picked this out already are Steve McCown and Dennis LaBeja. Steve and Dennis, make sure I've got your email addresses so that we can send you your gift card. Let me ask you a question. You saw a page that looks sort of similar to this before, that was a sales page. What's different about this page? What's different about this page? Can you guys spot anything that are just subtle differences about this particular page? What does it feel like it is instead of a sales page? What does it feel more like? What does it feel more like than a sales page? A lot of you are nailing this. A lot of you are nailing this. This feels more like a blog post, doesn't it? Or an article that you would read in a newspaper, doesn't it? Give me a number 1 if you caught that. Feels more like a blog post or an article that you would read in a magazine or a newspaper. Can I point out the specific things that gave you that feeling, even though you may have not have noticed what gave you that feeling? Can I do that? Give me number 1 if you want me to actually point out the pieces of this puzzle that gave you the feeling that This was something that was not trying to sell you something. It was something that was trying to teach you something. Give me a yes if so. You want me to pull, give me a number, do this. Give me a lucky number 7 in the box if you want me to point out some of the specific things that without you even having to look closely at this, your brain did the math. Your brain did the math, just like your prospects' brains do the math, and it immediately identified this as something that's different. We make these decisions on a split second. We don't even think about them anymore. Let me explain this. Number 1, everybody see this thing up here where it says weekend project? How many of you paid attention to how important that phrase was when you really looked at the page? Weekend project. What does this come off to you as? This comes off as, here is a do-it-yourself project. Would you agree? Would you agree that when I type weekend project at the top of this, it comes off as something that you can do yourself? Yeah, right? Right? Now let me ask you a question. How many of you think that that's pretty damn genius? It only took me 6 months to dial that in. It only took me 6 months to figure that out and to actually dial that in. But overall, starting off with weekend project is key. Now let me ask you a question. When we say that we are trying to find people that are marketing nerds, business nerds, people that are already doing things themselves, is this pretty smooth by putting weekend project at the top if we want to get people that are our people to continue reading and to continue going down the path? So everybody see what I'm doing so far. There's a couple other things. I'm going to point them all out because I think this is important. The next things that you see are, we have these beautiful share buttons. Where do you most often see social share buttons these days? Where do you most often see social share buttons? And this is just a small little hack, a small little mind thing that you slip in that puts into someone's mind. It's blog posts. So what we're doing is we're giving the feeling of blog post. Now the next thing is super simple. We've got an author name. We've got an author name. That author name is right away. That author name may seem insignificant to you at first glance, but that immediately comes off as this is a blog post. Now, there's some interesting things going on in the headline as well. Can I point the headline things out to you really quick that are super important that, once again, subtle, but draws in somebody immediately if they're a part of our target audience? Would you guys like to get nerdy with me for a second? Give me a big nerd in the box if you want to get nerdy with me for a second and really sort of get into this. This is kind of a magic formula and something that took me months and months and months, that may have even taken me over a year with this one to get this right. But I want you guys to, this is what I call my magic formula. What did I very subtly do in this headline? And I underlined it with blue. What's underlined in blue that's happening on this screen that's very, very important? Very, very important. Very, very important. Right there. Did I tell you who this was for and who it wasn't for? Did I tell you who this was for and who this wasn't for? Let me ask you a question. Do I become more of an expert by calling out a specific niche right away? Do I bring myself closer to my target market? This could say dental. It could say anything. But does everybody understand that by calling out a specific niche here, this is going to be deeper ingrained in the mind of somebody that's deciding what to do with the next 5 minutes of their life? Okay, if they're a chiropractor, this is probably something they're going to spend their time on. Okay, so we got that part. Now the next thing is this. Can you guys see the pink underline? What's the pink underline doing? What is the pink underline doing? Very quickly, I'm giving you, these are the expected results of this weekend project. Everybody got that? Right there, spelled out, here are the expected results of this weekend project. 3 times more new patients, okay? Is this headline doing a lot of heavy lifting so far? It definitely is. Now, the next thing that's super important, I've underlined in yellow, which is what? What am I doing with the yellow? Just so you can know, there's a lot packed into this template that I've got in front of you right now. What have I done? I have given you, hey, if you're a chiropractor and you want 3 times more patients and you want to take on this project, here's how long it's going to take you to get the results. So we give them a time frame of when they should expect results if they take on the project. Pretty good, right? Pretty good, right? So that's that. Now the last thing is subtle, but it's super important, and you got to do this. If you're missing this, you're missing the boat. The last piece of the puzzle is underlined in orange, and it tells them the medium, the how we are going to get them there. So you're a chiropractor, you want 3 times more patients, you want it in the next 60 days. We're going to do it using Google reviews. So now let me ask you a question without reading any further down this page. How many of you feel like you have an idea of what you're going to be spending the next 5 minutes learning how to do if you read this article? How many of you feel pretty damn good about that process? Okay. Now the last thing, I'm just going to point this out, 5 steps. So there's 5 steps. That's one of those things. How many of you think the 5 steps part is important? How many of you keep showing up to my webinars because you don't know why? How many of you don't know why you keep showing up to webinars Zach and I put on? We teach good stuff. We teach good stuff, but is it enough to teach good stuff? Is it enough to teach good stuff? Is it enough to teach good stuff? No. One of the reasons you all enjoy the webinars that we put on is we do deliver good stuff. You do learn something every time you come, but it's organized. How many of you have ever stopped and looked at how organized our webinars are and how easy they are to follow because we put them into a 4-part setup? So you may not think that 5 steps part is important, but it is. Now let me ask you all a question. If you were looking at just the top section of this page, do you understand why we are attracting marketing nerds in whatever niche we're going after here? Meaning I'm not attracting the people that would be difficult to talk to, that would be difficult to sell something. I am attracting the people that understand the value of what I have dedicated my life to doing. Does this make sense so far? Is this understandable? Now let me ask you a question, and this is one of the most important questions anybody's ever going to ask you. Would you rather spend the rest of your days as an agency owner reaching out to people who possibly do not like marketing and try to get them there, try to sell them something? Or would you rather spend your time putting out a piece of bait that is going to get the people that are fun to work with, that appreciate what you do, that will spend money on what you do because they do understand that they are educated and they're trying to further their education by reading things like that? Would you rather spend your time having them come to you and then you only following up with those people? Give me a yes if you'd rather spend your time letting the bait catch the fish and you deciding whether you want to throw the fish back or not. Yeah? Good. But there's one more important piece of this puzzle. Can I show you the icing on the cake of what I just showed you? Can I show you the icing on the cake of what I just showed you? Because I think that this is important. I haven't told you the whole story. I haven't quite told you the whole story yet. I need you to understand this. There's one more thing going on with this page that's incredibly important. If you want to see it, I need everybody here typing a number 1 in the box right now. Every single one of you that is on this call right now, I need you to type a number 1. If you want to see something that takes this to a completely different place. Okay, we're close. We're close to everybody, but there was a lot of number 1s. But if you haven't got your number 1 yet in, please do so. Please do. Okay, so here's what I'm going to share. I'm going to share this with you. You guys saw the top of the page. Now I'm going to show you midway down the page. Midway down the page, where the story that we're telling, the tutorial that we're teaching starts getting good, the story stops. Midway down the page, the story stops. And this is what they see. This is what they see. Very, very good. You saw it. You saw it. Bob L. and Mitzi D. Make sure we have your email addresses so that we can send you guys a gift card from Amazon. midway down the page, just as the tutorial, just as the weekend project is starting to get really good, just as I have them locked in, we pause and we say, if you'd like to continue reading, enter your email below for the rest of it. I'm not asking for their cell phone number. I'm not asking for anything crazy. I'm asking for their email address. What do you think happens when we capture that lead? What do you think happens when we capture that lead? What do you think happens when we capture that lead? When we capture that lead, you guys, number one, we start building a list of who. Who are we building a list of? Are we building a list of just chiropractors? Are we building a list of just dentists? Are we building a list of real estate agents? Are we building a list of plastic surgeons? Are we building it? No. Are we even just building a list of people that are interested in learning more? No. I want you guys to really understand who we're building a list of, because this is the most important part. We are building a list of chiropractors that are marketing nerds. We are building a list of dentists that are marketing nerds. We are building a list of real estate agents that are marketing nerds, that are hungry to actually do something to grow, and they are willing to take action to do it. They've taken micro commitments to get there. Does this make sense? Ryan jumped in the chat and said, well, for me, it would depend on how incredible the article is and how unique it is. Oh, you would think. Well, let me put it this way. The article is incredible. Unique, well, let's just say it follows the template, my friend. Well, we'll get into that in just a second, Ryan, because I totally agree with you. Here's the deal. Once we capture the lead, next comes an email sequence that further works to create a business owner that's aware of you, educated, excited, and ready to pay for the technology that you're offering. The result being lots of business owners that get it, that are marketing nerds, that are business nerds, that are nerds for growing and not standing in the same place. Give me a big hallelujah. You can just type in a 7 for hallelujah. If you fully believe we want people that are nerds for growth, they actually want to be in a different place next year than they were this year. This year's not enough. They want to be somewhere different. And that's what the email sequence does. The email sequence is not trying to push a sale upon them. The email sequence is further indoctrinating them into being a marketing nerd, into knowing more about how to get themselves there. Because let me tell you the secret, and this is the big secret. If you can find people that will help themselves, you will make a fortune in your agency. Well, Atkins, if they're going to help themselves, why do they need me? Because they got other shit to do in their business. And if they will help themselves, they will hire you to help them get there faster. Give me a big number 1 if this is a light bulb moment, if you understand where I'm going, if this makes sense so far. Here's the really good news. Here's the really good news. That headline, that page, that email sequence, the entire blog post tutorial is paint by numbers. It's a template we developed that you can adapt to any service that you're offering, because it's not about the structure being unique. It's about plugging in pieces the right place so that you're communicating what your service is. Can I tell you a secret about digital marketing? Can I tell you a secret about your agency? All of the services that you guys are offering do the same thing for the business at the end of the day. Give me a number 1 if you agree that overall, all the services that you are offering do the same thing at the end of the day. They get them more customers, they make them more money, period. So it would stand to reason there is a template that would explain how to get them the result that you can plug in pieces, and we have it. We've been working on it forever. As a matter of fact, if you're lucky enough to get access to the template, it only takes a few hours to customize it to any service that you want to do. And I'm going to give you a hint. Everybody ready for a little extra hint that's going to make you a lot more money? You could customize those templates for other businesses too. It doesn't just have to be digital marketing. Do me a favor, put a number 1 in the box if you'd like to get access to the special client seduction page template and start using it in your own agency to get clients. Give me a big number 1 in the box if you'd like access to that. And you would like for me to put that in your hands so that you can start doing it. You can get it customized in a couple hours and get to work on using it to get clients to come to you. Okay, do me another favor. Do me another favor. Put a number 2 in the box if you'd like to truly be able to find, attract, captivate, and close brick and mortar business owners, the marketing nerds, without having to be a smooth talker or having to constantly do cold outreach. Okay, yeah, I want to show you and give you the way that you can do that. But do this for me. Put a number 3 in the box if you'd like to finally have a true step-by-step system that you could use to take the prospect from cold to red hot by being finally able to effectively communicate what it is you're selling and how it will help your prospects. Okay, thank you all for typing in those things. I appreciate it. Let's get into how we can make those things a reality. Part 4, how you can close 10K per month worth of business by the end of this year just by borrowing our new customer seduction page and launching it for your agency this coming week. I want to tell you guys about something. Zach and I have put together a special workshop called New Client Seduction Pages that's going to give you the exact template for getting clients to come to you via a powerful web-based funnel that is built around a new client seduction page. Do me a favor, if I have your permission to tell you what we're going to cover in that workshop, give me a lucky number 7 in the box right now so that I know I have your permission to tell you what we're going to be covering, what you're going to get inside, and what you're going to walk out the other end with so that you can build the agency that you're after and get rid of a lot of the things that have been frustrating you so far so that you can actually grow. Okay, thank you. Let's get into it. Part 1. The full new client seduction pages system from 10,000 feet up. This is where we're going to go behind the scenes and give you a 10,000 foot view of how this special page works, how it changes the way you attract, captivate, and sign on new agency clients, and how, most importantly, you can get this thing up and going in a couple hours so that you can get started soon. How many of you would like to have the rest of this year be huge, even if you got a slow start? Give me a big number 1 in the box for part 1. If you'd like for the rest of this year to be huge, even if you've already had a slow start. How many of you would like to scale faster if you just want to get more than what you've been getting so far every month this next few months? Okay, good. That's what part 1 is about. Part 2, we're going to start getting the specifics. Part 2, how to target clients that need you now and get the seduction page in front of them. So I'm going to show you very specifically how to get this page in front of people in a very cool way that's going to get them to go through the process of getting into your funnel so that you know that they are the ideal. So that this page predisposes them to being ready for what you're selling because they're educated on it now, and how to get them to a place to where they're ready to go. So you're going to get a full tutorial on how to get traffic to this page in a very, very simple and easy to do way. So that's part 2. Part 3, the new client seduction page template. This is where I'm going to hand you the template. Give me a number 3 if you're excited about that. I'm going to hand you the template. Not only am I going to hand you the template, but I'm going to show you how to fill in the blanks on the template. So no matter what service you happen to be offering, that service now has something that is going to do this stuff for you. You don't have to be a copywriter to do this. You don't have to be the best marketer in the world to do this. All you have to do is follow what I'm showing you. If you've ever bought, any sort of service from Zach and I, or how to, or a piece of software, I'm going to show you how to insert the things that you already know about that into this page so that you can now start filtering out the wrong people, the haters, and you can start bringing in close the people that are marketing nerds so that you can close them. From there, part 4, the new client seduction page email closing sequence. I told you that everybody that signs up for this, there's an email sequence that further works to captivate them, to educate them, and to close them. And more importantly, to bring them close to who you are so that you bond with them in this email sequence. So part 4, we're going to go through the email sequence. I'm going to hand you the sequence so that all you have to do is fill in the blanks. And this will be something that is working for you while you sleep. Give me a big number 4 in the box if you like having things that are working to grow your business while you sleep. This is the beauty of automation. This is the beauty of the page. This is the beauty of the email sequence that follows in part 4. Make sure you get that number 4 in the box so that I see it. Trust me, it's important that I see these things at this point in the call. From there, part 5. Part 5, how to make 5K per client to set this page up for them as a service. How many of you would like to have this page in your agency, but then be able to turn around and build this for small businesses and charge them a nice fee to do so? In part 5, I'm going to show you how to take this exact page and what to do to set it up for other businesses, but also how to charge them 5K plus for it. So it's not just something that's going to bring you business, it's also a product that you can sell to other people as a high ticket. Now, all those pieces of the puzzle will show you exactly how to set up the special page for your agency, how to get it going, how to get it in front of people, how to bring clients in using it without you having to do any more cold outreach. But what we're going to include now, coming up in the next few slides, is going to make this 10 times easier to set up and give you the ability to scale past the 10K month per mark. Okay, so here we go. Notice number one, you're gonna get 30 days free access to the software that we use to build and host all of our new client seduction pages, the technology that we use to gate these things so that they have to put in their address to get to the next part of it, and all the things that we do to actually send out the follow-ups. That's what you're getting, 30 days free access to the software that does that. From there, bonus number two, you're gonna get the advanced traffic techniques. I'm gonna be teaching you a core traffic technique in the main training, but I'm gonna be teaching you some additional ways to get your page in front of the right people in bonus number two. You're gonna learn all of our advanced traffic strategies for getting your pages in front of your ideal clients and how to make sure you're not getting in front of the wrong ones and how to make sure that the wrong ones don't get trapped in your net. From there, bonus number four, our secret 3 low-hanging fruit niches. I know all of you probably already have a niche, but how many of you would still like to know some of the easiest niches to get started with this? This works with every niche that we've gone after pretty much so far, but how many of you would like to have a little insider view into 3 that I think are the easiest? Give me a big number 3 in the box for bonus number 3. Here's the thing, you can use these pages in just about any niche, but we have 3 that we love because they're perfectly set up to respond to these pages just by what they do for a living. You're gonna get access to all 3 so you can hit the ground running fast if you wanna get started with one of those, or if you wanna do one on the side as you're going. Now from there, bonus number 4, the last bonus, this is gonna be a behind the scenes case study of a live new client seduction page. Not only are you gonna get the template, but you're gonna see one of these things that's actually been put together, and I'm gonna walk you through how it works specifically, okay? Does all this make sense so far? Give me a yes if all this makes sense so far. You know what this workshop's about. You know what the template is about. You want to get started with the new client seduction pages. You want to replace your current prospecting method with this. If you do and you're ready to get inside right now, I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to give me a big number 9 in the box, specifically the number 9. Make sure you get that in the box so that I know you're excited. You want one of these things. There's one little catch here. There's one little catch. I think everybody here understands that what you're getting, if you get a seat in this workshop, is some things that we've been working on for a very long time, and it's one of our closely guarded secrets, because this is something that is key in our business, and it's going to be a key in a few of your businesses. We're limiting this to 97 seats for the workshop. There will not be a 98 seat sold for this. So please do me a favor. If you're not going to go implement this after I teach it to you and hand you the templates, don't take a seat. If that's a deal and you will not take somebody else's seat, give me a number 1 in the box right now so I know that you're good to go. I know that you're ready to rock, and you are cool with only getting in if you are going to put this into action. I'm going to hand you the keys to the Corvette, but you got to drive it. And if you're not going to drive it, don't take someone else's seat in this thing. Okay, here's the deal. If you're ready to get inside, the next slide, we are going to reveal the link. I want you to get ready. I want you to be ready to click on the link. I want you to be ready to go to this and get your spot, because the 97 seats are going to go quickly. Address, spskr.com/NCS, spskr.com/NCS. As soon as you made it in, if you got one of those 97 seats, I want you to jump back in that chat. You tell me that you made it in. I am going to welcome you personally inside of this call. Now, I've got Zach coming in to say a few things here in a second about what we're doing and why it's so important you get your seat. But before we do that, we're going to recap everything that you're getting inside right now. So recap, remember, Zach's coming in here in just a second. He's going to be talking to you guys about some things, but before he does that, I want to recap everything you're getting in if you get one of those 97 seats. Part 1, the full new client seduction pages system from 10,000 feet. We're going to go behind the scenes. We're going to talk about exactly how this works, how everything comes together, how we drive traffic to this, how this all comes together. Now, part 2, we're going to be talking about how to find the clients that you need now and how to get the seduction pages from. This is our very basic traffic method, but it works so darn well. Meaning, hey, how many of you are ready? And those of you that said I'm in have already told me that you're ready to go with this, but how many of you are ready to trade cold calling, cold messaging with something different? That's what we're doing in part 2, is how to get this page in front of people so that cold calling, cold messaging goes away forever. From there, part 3, the actual page we're sending them to. Now, this page is a template. This template can be adapted easily to whatever service your agency offers. I'm going to specifically be showing you a specific service, but it can be adapted to anything, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. For those of you that are asking, you're saying, wait, can we do this without NetEngine? Yes, this is platform agnostic. We are going to give everybody here 30 days free for NetEngine. If you don't have NetEngine already, we're going to give you 30 days free to try NetEngine so that you can push button, put it in, and get started fast. But you don't have to have NetEngine to do it. You can build this page on any platform that you want. Okay. Now from there, part 4. After somebody comes to that page and they get started with it and they're interested, then they're going to opt in. When they opt in to read the rest of the article, we are going to take them through an email sequence that's going to bring them any closer. Remember, I got a chat full right now, people that say I'm in. If you made it in, it's important that you tell me that you're in. So make sure you get it in there so I can welcome you here in just a second. From there, part 5, how to make 5K per client to set up a new client seduction page for them. So not only is this a way that you can get clients, this is also something that you can use to sell as a service. I'm going to show you how to do that. From there, we also have a few bonuses. Bonus number 1 is you're gonna get access to the software where we host these pages and set these pages up. This makes it push button easy to get started with this. And everybody here gets 30 days free access. You don't need this, but it's something that does take the time down that it takes to set it up. And we're gonna give everybody here that for 30 days. From there, bonus number 2, advanced traffic techniques. I've had several people say, well, how do we get people, the page in front of them? We're covering one method in the main setup. But in this, we're going to cover some advanced things, some different ways to get this in front of people. And I think you're going to absolutely be blown away by how well this works. From there, bonus number 3, 3 low-hanging fruit niches. These are fun niches that I've had a blast in, that it is wide open. There's tons of space for people to go after, and I'm going to show you how to go after those people and who those people are. From there, the final bonus, behind the scenes case study of a live new client seduction page. I'm going to show you guys how that works, how everything comes together so that you can do that. All you have to do right now is go to spskr.com/NCS. And then when you're done and you get through the checkout process, you jump right back into that chat. You let me know that you made it in live, and I'm going to welcome you personally in just a minute. But before I do that, we have some questions that are coming in. But before we even get to the questions, here's the thing. My good buddy, Zach Anderson, is going to hop on. He's going to talk about why this has been such an important thing for us and why we chose now to bring it out and show you guys this. We have seen some questions coming into the support desk lately that said, this is the time. When we were ready with this, this is the time. People need this. And Zach's going to walk you through some of that. So Zach, tell everybody why this has been such a big deal for us and what you think about this whole new client seduction page thing that we started putting together almost 2 years ago. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I mean, in all reality, this has been my strategy since the day I started my agency over 14 years ago. I learned very early on in my career that I did not want to work with people that those companies that or those people that come to you and be like, oh, I need you to help me grow my business. Like, I know that sounds weird, but like, they don't have any skills. They don't understand how these things work, and they're like, you need to solve my problem. And I don't mind solving people's problems, but I've always wanted to work with people, and these are the only people that I've ever targeted that already had a knowledge and a desire for it and an understanding around it. So if I go back and look at all of my customers that paid me $3,000, $5,000, whatever the number was a month, they were all nerds. They literally, like, one of them, he was, I think, ended up the highest point was like $7,500 a month. And it was a roofing company, and he was a total marketing nerd. I mean, he was an Infusionsoft guy, and he built out all his own stuff, like crazy complex stuff. And that was the reason why we actually he brought me on as his marketing partner, because he understood it, but it didn't understand it. And just having the knowledge of someone that does this on a day in, day out basis was really powerful for him, and he could just talk the way that he wanted to speak to. So every single one of my customers that I brought on, they all had previous knowledge. They were brought in through my funnel in a very, very similar way. I did video back then in my structure over 15 years ago, and not a sales page like that. And because I wanted my face on the screen, but I know that's not the easiest way of doing things. But honestly, these are where you get your best customers. And this is how it was. I hate to say it, it was easy for me to grow my agency. And it's because I targeted these specific types of people. Because once they saw what you're capable of doing and they could take it off their plate, they have no problem like signing up with you. And actually, they work better with you, and they're more responsive, and they're easier to actually work with because they already understand how things work. They understand how challenging stuff is, and it's just not push button easy that everybody wants to. So it's a very, very powerful method, and it's the only types of customers I've ever had in my agency for the last 15 plus years.
And that's the thing. I want to one more time sort of really lock it with what we're doing. This is not just about handing you a template, because if we're just handing you a template, then there's a lot of ways that you could take that and not get any results from it. Okay. The point of the workshop is this. We're going to show you how to stop going after people that are wasting your time. How many of you think that a big reason, and I want an honest answer here, how many of you think that a big reason that you're not where you want to be is because you've been going after the wrong types of people? I don't mean the wrong niche. I mean the wrong types of people. Like, this is incredibly important, because when you get this, you stop messing around with people that are wrong for you. You guys, listen, I could have a baseball card in my hand right now that was worth $300,000. If I take it into the wrong scenario, if I take it to the schoolyard, they're not going to give me $300,000 for a card that's worth that. But if I take it to a high-end card shop where they have people that are experts that know what I have, they are ready to go. They're ready to buy it from me. They're ready to make a deal because they know the value in what I've got. And what I want you to understand is there's a lot of you here that have been operating, going after kids in the schoolyard who are pretending to run a business. Give me an amen if that resonates with you right now. There's a lot of you that have been going after the kids in the schoolyard who are pretending to run a business, that have no real interest in running a business. They were just a cook that decided to start a restaurant. They were just a chiropractor who said, you know what, I don't want to work for this other chiropractor anymore. I want to get into my own thing because I don't want a boss anymore. They weren't the kind of people that were nerds for what we do. What this is doing, what makes this different than anything else that you've probably done, is these pages are designed to bring our people closer to us, our marketing nerds, our business nerds. So if you are lucky enough to get one of the spots, one of the 97 spots for the new client Seduction Pages workshop, and you get access to the templates, you get access to the email sequence, you're also getting access to a pathway of going after a different kind of individual forever and always. We're now going to be going after people that are not marketing haters. They're not people that blame everybody else for what's going on around them. They're people that are in, they're ready to go, they're educated, and they see the value in what we do. And they're going to be coming to you now. And that's the key. Yeah, Paul, it actually will work real well for that. So the idea behind this is not only are you getting all the things I talked about, but we're also going to be walking you through in the bonuses a very special live version of this, so you can see what one of these looks like that's getting out there, getting clients. And so I'm not just going to give you the pieces of the puzzle. We're going to show you what the puzzle actually looks like when you run it live. So if you're sitting there right now and you're on the fence and you're thinking about this, you're like, should I get one of the 97 seats? What should I do here? I want you all to understand this. If you're in a spot where you feel stuck right now, one of two things is about to happen to you. You're going to continue to fumble around, and if you're just a hobbyist and you're good with being a hobbyist, that's okay. That's totally cool. Or you're going to start doing something differently that changes the results. Remember, guys, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Those of us that are wanting to grow, we have to look at what's going on in our businesses and say, is this working? And if it's not working for you, I would venture to say if prospecting and getting in front of people has been the problem, it's probably because you've been getting in front of the wrong people and you've been getting your ass handed to you getting in front of the wrong people. So you don't want to go keep doing that. Okay. Now that's the key behind it. So here's what I need you to do. Right now, there's 97 spots. At least half of those spots are going to be gone within the next few minutes. I need you guys to go to that URL and lock in your spot now. If you are ready to go next week to get started with this, to get the page set up, have it set up by the end of next week so that you can get moving, the rest of the year is going to be something that can be different for you. But you got to get going, okay? Now, all you got to do, spskr.com/ NCS. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to answer questions. I am going to start welcoming some people in while I'm waiting on your questions. Type QQQ with your questions. If you're not inside yet and you want to know a little more info, maybe we haven't answered something for you, type QQQ with your question and we'll take care of that. I'm going to welcome a few people in and then we'll get to some of those questions. Number one, I welcome Katie. Katie F is in. We got Jeffrey G that's in. We got Rob T that's in. We got Paul L that made it in. We got Tim D that made it in. We got Andrew A that made it in. We got Jocelyn VB that made it in. I love it. We got Patty V that's in. We got Kip A that's in. We got Steve S that made it in. We've got Dave M that made it in. We've got John O that made it in. Let's see here. We've got Sharice B that made it in. We got Tracy M that made it in. We got Brett that made it in. We've got BL that made it in. We've got Mark that made it in. I got a full list of people that are starting to chime in down below that, but I want to make sure we are getting your questions. If there's any question that we have not answered yet, please, please, please let me know so that I can get that. I'm going to start answering a few of these questions now so that we can see kind of what's going on. Let's see here. Tracy says, can you give a general idea of some numbers of building a list and conversions to client? So here's the deal, Tracy, I don't want you to think in terms of internet marketing, like we bring in 100 people and we convert one. That's not the way this works. The people that you're bringing onto your list here are people that are searching for a solution now. So what I'm actually going to be showing you inside of this is how to strike at the perfect time when the iron's hot. So the conversion from opting into client is pretty big. And even if they don't convert, remember, you've got a list. And that's where things start to get even better down the road. And so every time you add a new service, you've got a list of people. Remember, when you have a list of people that are into something and they're specifically niched out, it's much easier to sell everything you've got down the road. And we can talk about that too. Okay, so let's see here. Antoine, what's the difference between this and something that we did in the past that he's been very specific about? The thing about this one, my friend, is who we're targeting specifically with this, okay? Who we're targeting specific. Paul, it's the same thing. We're targeting a very specific type of person with this. And remember, we're talking people that are marketing nerds. We're not just building a list of a niche. We're targeting a list of a niche. We're building a list of people in a certain niche that are also super nerdy about growth, super nerdy about marketing. That's the difference. And everything behind that page is tailored to that. Okay. Zach, you got one from Tracy that I don't know how to answer. So I'll let you do that. If you've made it in, make sure you get that in the chat too. I will be answering, I will be welcoming you in by a chat while Zach's talking. So make sure we've got that. Okay, let's see here. I'll flag it for you. There you go. Let's see here. Sharice, I'll answer this from Sharice. Will all the content and bonuses be available after the workshop next week? Yes, yes. What I want you to do is take a small break before the workshop and just be ready, be fresh when we get to the workshop, Sharice. We'll be delivering everything there, okay? Joe, bless your heart, Joe. Joe got kicked out twice, but finally I'm in. I saw that before all the other I'm ins because Joe put a QQQ. So thanks, Joe. I love it, but I'm glad you got in. That's good to see. Zach, did you see Tracy's question? I don't know if you want to type it.
I did, Tracy. Yeah. No, if you could just send in a ticket to support, and Katie and I can look at what you're trying to do in regards to that. I just have to refresh my memory on exactly how the whole thing functions in regards to integrating it with what we're referring to. So possibly, I don't have an answer for you though.
Okay, cool. Listen, we like to be very respectful of your time. And so we're not going to keep you guys any longer. But do me a favor, if you do not have a seat for this yet, if you've been waiting, get in now. I'm not looking at the live totals at the moment, so I don't know how many seats are left, but make sure you get your spot. Like I said, this is something that you can be started with next week and you can get going and have this working for your agency. All you got to do is go to spskr.com/NCS. Remember, you're going to learn how to build this for your agency. You're going to get it up and going. Our goal is for this machine to be working for you by the end of next week, but also you're going to learn how to do this for other businesses too. This is a skill that you can use over and over and over again. I have a few people that we work with that this is pretty much what they do full time for other businesses. They run it as a high ticket. It's the thing that they do. It's what their whole agency is about. Now, you may not want to do that. You have other services. That's fine. That's what you build this page to sell, those other services, and we can make sure that we help you out to do that. So just to recap, this new client seduction page, whatever service you happen to be selling right now, if you're having trouble getting prospects, if you're having trouble getting leads, if you're having trouble even getting to talk to somebody, it's most likely because you are going after people that are the wrong people. And you need a better way to filter those people out and just go after the people that are educated, that know what your service is. This page is going to educate them on your service, and it's also going to pull them closer and get them in as a lead so that you can close the deal along with the emails. All you got to do is go to spskr.com/NCS, get your seat now, and we'll see you on the live workshop next week. Zach, anything before I get out of here? I think I got either the questions answered live or I typed them in the chat. I think I got most of the people welcomed in the chat that we didn't say out loud right away. Some people don't like to be called out live, and I get that. So for those of you that always type in the, hey, don't say my name out loud, but I'm in, thank you. We appreciate you too, and we'll see you live on the call. Anything I'm missing, buddy?
Nope, I think I went through all of them and everything looks good.
Love it, love it. All right, guys, we will see those of you that got a seat next week. If you do not have one of those seats yet, just go to the address that's on your screen right now, spskr.com/NCS, and we'll see you live on the call next week. Make sure you get that spot before we sell out. That's all I can say. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. This is going to be a fun call that we do next week. And for those of you that get this started, you will have this page up and live by the end of next week. And you can get going with using it the rest of the year and next year and the year after that to grow your business. All right, on behalf of all of us here, we love you a ton. Have a great rest of the week. And we're gonna get to work on getting this replay done for a few of you that have requested it already. Hopefully by the time we get the replay out, we still have spots. So stay tuned on that. All right, be good, take care of yourselves. We love you all. Take care of yourself.